who are incoherent. They are not open to recognition of situation from words spoken. Very difficult. People with a brain disorder, they do not have the blessing of knowledge because they are not able to understand things and to assimilate themselves around that understanding. It's that. I think we, to a degree, know exactly what I am talking about. I think I've experienced a situation where you are talking to someone and saying something that you think is important for them to understand, but they are not conscious of what you're saying. You're not getting through. Things are not happening for you. When you're talking to someone, you hope to perceive what you're saying, and yet still, they do not understand you. What do you do in that case? And what really happened there? What happened there is really, you get nothing happen for you when people are not understanding. The confusion is so pressing. It's depressing. If you have children, I'm very sure you don't want to have any children that is going to have a brain disorder. You cannot influence their understanding of things and their development. You can't connect with them. You don't want to have a child like that, do you? Well, the world full of people like that, brain damage. And it's not because they were born with their brain really damaged. Their brain gets damaged because the parents do it. Parents damage their brain. And I'm not saying it's an intentional thing. Unintentional. Think about what I'm saying. Unintentional. Awareness of danger in situation is very important. Very, very important. All right, so this is what I am about here. I am not trying to create unfruitful situation. I want to talk to people who understand what I'm saying and emphasize the importance of when we understand what's being said, the advantage that there is. People who do not understand, to whatever degree they are not understanding, they are deprived. All right? Now, what happens when we understand things? We either accept that it is good or not good. So we have complex things to figure out when we are listening to each other. So if you take that piece of understanding that I am expressing, then right away you will find yourself obligated to things that you have heard and where you should respond positively because you are a part of the human ongoing life or posterity and should be able to carry on intelligence in the mind of others and your children. So, the way things are going, we can see that there are too many people unresponsive to things, process, situation that exists in society. People are not understanding. For example, life exists for a number of hundreds of thousands of years. And since the beginning of life is not is not from us, it is from the people who lived long ago. So we are here with responsibility to know the history of where we are coming from and, follow the pattern, model the proto. That's what we're supposed to do, right? So when we have folks who messes up things in the world and destroy the pattern of knowledge and destroy the understanding that we are to have and hold and exercise, how do we make out with that? How do we correct things like that? How do we know when these things happened and somebody must repair the damage? How do we know that? It's a multiple problem, because, you see, once you believe you have accepted something, believe something that is not true, and it becomes a part of your thinking and a part of your action, your behavior, right there, you see, is either that you are doing positively well or negatively bad. When you're a victim of some idea that is not positive, and you're acting on it like it is, the brain must not be corrupted, because when it does, or when it gets confused, the world that's supposed to be, or the world that is of long ago, will no longer exist in your life, because people increase in number just about every day. And there was a time when human population was not as many as it is now. Think about that. All right. If you read history, you'll find out that there were times when the world society was unified with one common concept of social understanding, or it have a cultural norm. Yeah. What happened? What happened? It's not a matter of getting diverse or, relevant diversity. It's all right. I mean, it's like a mango tree or orange or fruit tree. Bears a lot. You're happy when your fruit bear. Your fruit tree bears a lot, and you can get much fruit. So that's not the problem. Many of similar things are things that are relevant in existence. They have a word that's called congenial. You have a sense of togetherness, harmony. That's nice. So that's not what we're talking about. I mean, you don't have to wear the same color clothes like other people. Nobody don't stop you from, our style clothes. But when somebody bring in the style and form of something that is not compatible with good living, that's the problem. So whenever people stray into what we call then negative ways, since our brain is open to assume all kind of ways, different patterns. So it is important for us to know the right way, the pattern to follow. So what happens when you take on a way of thinking that is not in harmony with the solitary, the right attitude, the right principle. You've gone away from the right principle that you can use in diverse ways. That's where we drift away, we drift apart, and develop all kinds of different attitude, whereas it becomes okay to do serious damage to the other side, starve them, do all kinds of stuff to them, and it's okay because we have built up anomaly and become hostile and uncaring, unloving of others. We drift away from the central knowledge that we are all the same life form, and whenever we begin to act up against each other in these negative ways, we are done with the creation. That's the problem. That is the problem. Human life started out with a certain set of people. That's what the history shows. And in that case, it means that the pattern and the mold of life must be held together, because we don't start in a different way except that way. If somebody is going to try to invent the wheel of human life, then that's where we start hell on earth. So one set of people start, and from that set of people, you have other forms of life begin to hatch. And then it doesn't matter what color we have. What counts is our sense, our behavior, our understanding to do diverse things, but we are not hostile or negative toward each other and create pain and suffering. We don't do that. That's not the way life is supposed to go. We start hating each other and doing things that clearly don't foster the positive of life. When we hear and we don't understand, when we now drift off into ways where we hurt each other and laugh, then, life is really over in a certain context. When we start treating like hearing and understanding is not important, and when hearing and understanding no longer support the healthy way of life, life is over with. Look at what is going on out there. People killing people. One understanding, one teaching began with the people, the little group that started out human life. We didn't start out diverse all over the place. That's not what the issue shows. And it doesn't make any sense to think so. It's not intelligent to think so. But with the fool, and when someone tell, well, all right, you don't need to be cautious about anything, then what happened? Drive on the street like that and don't be cautious how you drive, and what is going to happen? Will you return safely? The answer is no. Just no. All right. This is just a little background to what I'm saying, so that to invoke some attention to life, life, life. It is clear that it is not going the way that we're supposed to. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the kind of calamity that is going on. People are killing other people, and they feel like they are mighty and great when they do that. We are in a sick state, and we are so sick that we don't realize that we are sick, crazy, nasty, and we do not care. Something went wrong somewhere, and we don't have enough mental health to recognize what is happening to us. Because whilst people are dying, suffering and dying around us, we don't care. You don't find out. Pretty soon, you're going to be in bad shape too, because you need other people's life to support yours. And when you don't think so, idiot, you're a fool. And this is what is going on in the world. We started out with the meaning of something, and then down the road, some idiot come along and change it. The matrix no longer serve everybody. And this is what we have here today. Everybody's trying to build up a kingdom of their own. They have lost sense of themselves, and they would like to kill the last person. Leave themselves. This is very, very terrible, my friends. Very terrible. The gift that we get, the senses that we get, when we don't think that these senses are important. You don't think to hear and to see is that important. You think it was given to you for something else. Just to have sex and to enjoy that gratification that is put inside of you to procreate. That's all we boil down to. We lose sense of the essence of life, and here we are. Gosh, who's crying out? Who's trying to fix anything? Nobody. And we could be wiped out in one night, and we wouldn't realize that we caused it. Because we are concerned about, your vagina and your penis. That's it. Your clothes, your car, and your whatnot. It's just a barbaric type of thinking that we are enjoying, man. It's a bad thing. We don't think words are important because they determine the quality of life or whether or not we're going to get spoiled or not if we don't speak right. No. And people are full up of their skin and their clothes. Taking a trip somewhere. Look at what people are interested in. Look on TV. What's them? It's like we are strangers to life. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, there are people who listen and make good for themselves. And that is so nice that some people can see and they are making use of knowledge. Others don't care about knowledge. They care about believing whatever is the agenda of politics of the day and the religions that politics create. So, all right, for those who are able to make use of knowledge and have the life they want and do everything to protect yourself from those who are dangerous, I speak and I say, the world that people are not paying attention to is the one to protect us. And when we decide only on the basis of error that people have created, and we become a part of a group or, and alliances, it's like the The institution in societies, trade unions and different forms of foundations and stuff like that, created to control people's thinking, way of life. People are lost because of these type of institutions that people set up. And therefore, it's hard to bring things back because people have built systems to destroy the foundational system. And like you outgrow that, but you don't realize something, you're building danger over your head. And pretty soon, in a matter of time, it's going to destroy you. Going to destroy you. So, fact is that, death is the final end for people who do wickedly and think nonsense. It's so nice that, a lot of people have come up and political power, do all kind of things like, Hitler, and other people talk about like guys like Fidel Castro come up and, seize power and, and the dynasties where people rule, I just have not seen the female gender to be the ones to do these atrocities and stuff like that. I'm not saying it may not have happened, but it's usually men. And do you understand why? Can you see why men in research, you'll see that men are often sick, mentally sick. And we people, when we are drawn away, we're spoiled. We're not thinking sensible. We don't realize. I know when the brain is sick, people are doing all kinds of crazy, mad things, gone away from the course, the right way of thinking and behaving. And we think that they're all right. Gosh, and when we cannot tell the difference and we won't stop it, then it destroys all of us. See, men. And what is it? Once we have departed from the right way of thinking, our body is polluted, our minds, think wrong, and we don't know. And things just go to hand. Nobody's going to straighten up anything. And men with mental illness are not cured. They do any atrocity. And it is accepted like, they're in power, they do what they want. It's not true. They didn't make nothing on earth for us to live on. They're living off everything. So, person who respects the history, the only thing that tells us where we're coming from and the way we are to behave ourselves, the way we are to think, the way we are to care, and what we are to build from naught. When we despise that, this is where we come. And then we accept the abnormal things that people have turned to. You see, and don't care. And especially when people bring in concept like demeaning to history, don't care history, or say, we are cave people. When you're looking at, we're coming from the most intelligent distant past. We did not create anything that was never there. And my friends, this is the kind of world that you're living in. Because when you see a lot of churches out there talking about, which way to serve God and stuff like that, and you don't have any basis for that. You don't have no basis for that. That's why you see the people, it's just so terrible. It's just that, why are we even here? Why is anybody permitted to be on earth? When people first obligation is to live right, to love, is to respect. But when you have a set of people who decide that they are going to have power and they're going to create jurisdiction to see to it that some people don't drink clean water, what is that? What is that? The same person who is pumping poison into your water to drink. That person is setting up church and tell you are to go and be saved. What about that? What about that? And people don't care. They're going to church anyway. They don't care who put that church there. But what the person says about God, you are revering it. So when we don't have thinking enough to know, but this is the person who is putting us to the water, and this is the person who's setting up church and making provision for church, this church and that church and that church. When we are not able to think relevantly and to fix a problem, what good is life? What good is life? When we know what is honesty, I don't steal from you. I don't take away, what you have, and I don't do that. I'm not supposed to do that. We're supposed to get along and learn the right way of life and live in harmony and cause each day of your life to be well. Because there's nothing else than you live one day and you're going to see the next day and you're repeating the same thing. Life is not going to be anything different. You can only work each day and try to have a little something more than you had yesterday, but you're repetitive in everything. That's the way life is. That's the way nature is. You're going to repeat what you're doing every day. Eat and drink and do all of the things that biologically you must repeat every day. But when we are not interested in the rule of life and we decide to kick others around and find fun in beating up on each other, like, you see they're doing boxing. See the kind of sport since the past 2,000 years, the kind of sport that they have, is to make fun of the unfortunate. I can beat you. And you see, they allow that you can kill another person in the ring because you are fighting under a sanction. It's a competition. And if you kill the other person in that competition, if, the contenders were not able to save themselves, then they become a victim. Because once a guy hurt the other, he runs in for the kill or knock you out. Why? It just can't be something that is considered on points alone. Why it has to be a knockdown, a knockout? This is what we have going on in the world. People no longer want to hear what is right, what benefits everyone. We are having epidemic of thought, epidemic. And that's all people want to hear. We are regurgitating the same foolishness every day. You listen to the songs that we sing and the music that we play. They are not profitable. They're not doing anything. Damn it. And we are still sucking the garbage up every day. Every day we get up, we do it. We don't care about what's right. Because, see, you have people who come in with this design, and that, and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And look at what is happening. 10 years ago. You remember what was going on 10 years ago? No. We grow these things out. You see? And the things that we ought to pay attention to, no, we don't want to remember those things. We don't want to deal with those things, and you will only deal with them when you are forced to. Like you're sick, you're in the bed, pain. my friends, we are very foolish, and few people are paying attention to history, who we are, what we are supposed to be. Few people. So I'm going to try and bring some thoughts to the program. People listening, hopefully that there are those there who are listening and come in to the number here, 347-850-1358. I understand that people don't have much of a use for what makes sense, because what makes sense has a juice, and it only has juice for a mind that is clean enough to understand and to absorb that energy. Other people, they don't want to hear what's right, because if I'm going to tell you, say, hey, you're running out there and you're a guy and you're looking for a different vagina because there's nothing else in your head besides the desire for another vagina, man. And from everlasting to everlasting, the same thing. And it's like, oh, you can't do without doing that, because what else is there in life? And it's the greatest thing in life. But when you go to sleep at night, what do you miss? What is missing? Nothing. You don't have nothing whatsoever to show that you are protecting yourself and you are making you have a good night's rest. You don't do nothing for that. Nothing whatsoever. We continue to do the same thing over our lifetime until we drop boop dead. See? No, we're not doing it. And, you're the only one who wants to be special. Nobody else need to be special but you. Everybody know you and look out for you and blah, blah, blah. These things are just vain to no end. All right? So, for the people who cherish the good life, the sweet life, the one who wants to remain in the mold of civility, we will go on and talk and say what is good. Dream Master, number one. People ask me always how I dream, per se, through dimensions. Yeah, but why would anybody ask you about your dream? What is it going to do for them? This is the kind of thing I find out that we are just waste. Our minds are just contaminated. We don't have real sound purpose at all. We don't make any sense, and we don't know how to make real sense. Now, it's like I find myself just tuning out a lot of things that I would normally pay attention to, because I realize now that they don't make any sense. And when you would feel to listen to certain things that people are saying on TV and stuff like that, I am learning now, I'm not to listen to none of those nonsense. They wonder how to connect to higher source consciousness. And, all right, see, why do they wonder that? And my answer to that is, the reason why we wonder is because we are strayed. We are polluted. There is just one source of knowledge, and that is history. We don't have anybody to tell us anything except history. And when we decide, oh, no, we don't have to listen to history, then what do we have? We have what people made up in groups and decide to follow that. So history is no longer a jurisdiction over the way we were created and the way to live. Divination, yeah. And when you become lonesome and don't have any real energy to support your life, then you find yourself have to enjoy the foolishness that you're hearing every day, every darn day. Yeah, I mean, yeah, man, call in, man. The number is in the chat room there. If you can say it, it's 347-850-1358. All right, and let me before you come on, let me just get something table so that if we are going to talk, we are going to base what we are saying on the topic that I propose to be the center consciousness of what we are talking about today, right? The topic of what I propose today is God's gave societies kingship. Europe gave Christianity bombs. Hiroshima. And I choose to talk about this because it's in my mind. I have a consciousness of how we have rejected the only source of jurisdiction for human life, and how we have created a whole different system of rules and procedures that has nothing to do with civilized order. Nothing at all. And I find out that, civility has slipped away, bad, big time. And I'm thinking, just as for myself, I see a lot of things going on with me. And I want to change. I want to change. I want to experience a higher energy of life. For me to think and behave different on a higher level. I see how I get a taste and I get an impact, an effect of how to think and how to feel. And then I see I am slipped back into the old me. Years and years of torment and darkness and, not really sensing anything that makes me, that rejuvenate me into and transform me into a higher sense of importance in thought and behavior, in feeling, in my emotion. I want a higher experience. I want to abode on a higher plane. And I realize, you know what? Food and clothes and sex and all these kind of people attraction. It's easy for people attraction to kill us. And I find out, people attraction is, remember, we have bodies that easily, easily dead. Every day people body are, dying. The body is not really all that important, but that's what is really affecting us. The body, the flesh, and we are made up with the properties to make us stay right there. And worse, when people come with perversion and put it in and make you feel like, that's what to make you feel good, we are gone right down to the level of the beast. Right down to the level of the beast, and nothing really matters. And I am saying, it takes time. When you're ready, you call in. We can, talk. But here, and this is the center of the importance of what I'm talking about today. That the history is showing us right here today. History that tells us about the past, where we are coming from, and who we are, and how we started out, and by whom. We have a history that tells us that. Useless that anybody listen to me and hear me talk about my boyhood, my parents and stuff like that, and what transpire, in my youthful days, and and stuff like that. Oh, my parents are. What are you going to get out of that? What are you going to get? I did when I was a boy, because basically it's going to be similar to what you did when you were a kid. It may be some ways kind of different, but it's the same old nonsense of human being growing up and damn don't know, or civilized and stuff like that. So the point is, what we're supposed to know is exactly how we come about. Then it's going to be in your hands to make use of that knowledge of who you are. Life is going to be easier that way. Learn about the conditions of life, the true conditions of life. That's what we are supposed to know. It's not about our bodies, our skin, and all that kind of stuff. These things are not important. The things that we are glamorizing and carrying on about. It's not, because this is what put us in a state of being superior to the other. And our necessity and need for things more than others. That's where we are buried. You see? And you think about in all the governments of the world, look at the people who are in government. History that tells us how a society is supposed to be. Tells us about the first civilization and all that. We don't care about that. We don't care about, and why we should care is about the equality of life. And when we don't care about history, we can't care about equality. There was a time when nobody spoke about race and who is better than who. But not today. You don't go anywhere unless you're affected by what you're wearing or what you have. You don't go anywhere or affected by that. So, for me, I just know I'm not to be a part of that anymore, because 50 years of my life, I'm Christian. And I know the barrenness of that. Yeah, barren. And right now, I'm very, very sure, based on what I come around to adore, there's a few people that would enjoy my kinds of conversation. And of course, what is wrong with my conversation? There's nothing wrong with my conversation. It may be that, if you want to blame me for not presenting things like I am a Harvard graduate or something like that, but my interest is just to talk and that people listen to what I'm saying and have some kind of reasoning to associate with what I'm saying, because I love other people all around the world. Anywhere there is a life, I regard it. And I don't really want to excel above anybody. Everybody should be able to live and progress in whatever they have interest in. But I am anti people changing the paradigm of humanity. I am against people destroying others because they feel like they are more important. Enslaving others, because you turn it around, those who destroy others, they don't want no one to destroy them. So if that being the case, they want to have it both ways. How do you do that? And you're going to preach and tell people, oh, they should be nice and this and that and God loving and fearing and stuff. And you are not. You're a hypocrite. All right. So let me go back now to what history says, where we are coming from. And this is the template that really put mankind on the same leveling plane board. Anybody who reads history, world history, cannot avoid reading the people that were around before human hybrid was created. Who care about that? I do. I do. You know? So I am no longer a part of the focus on a man's penis or a woman's vagina. In that case, my own penis. That's what I see the world is reduced to, is a penis and a vagina. Because what are people most interested in is sex. And sex is taken out of context 100,000 miles far away from what it's supposed to. You see, because when we are reduced to just the good feelings of sex, we are reduced to nothing. Because that is not what life is about. Look up in the skies. Night and day. You think we are anywhere close to having appreciation for the values of life? No. I see my friend with hands up, and I want to come around to my friends. All right. What I am saying is that the history that tells us about who we are and what we see going on right now, you have got to try hard to concentrate and appreciate who we are in a historic sense. All right. Here is what a little excerpt I want to read to you, or a little, what we call it, a little preface. Nick Mercer speaks on Planet X is closely approaching 2016. Nibiru The Truth, 2016. Saturday, February 6, 2016. Nibiru, the age-old question. The documentary covers the work of Lloyd Pye, and he shows that we have come from the Anunnaki many thousands of years ago. Just that. Is it true? I mean, people will tell you all kinds of things today. I mean, do I care about what people says? We can't live like that anymore because we have been bamboozled and really have our brains all infected with all kind of bad energy. We must only concentrate on the information that is trustworthy, not what people out there take and go do whatever they want to do with it, and they would like to tell you and convince you and take your mind away from. If you don't have your own personal reading, knowledge, and perspective and persuasion, people going to drive you into nothingness. All right, so it's about what I read and think this is authentic. Wormwood or Nibiru, Planet X, has been spoken about for many years. I think this work puts together the reason that we can believe it is out there waiting to make another passing. What is Planet X also known as Planet 7X or Nibiru, and what does it mean for us on Earth? Is there a biblical connection, and does it play a role in the end time? All right, that question. Is there a biblical connection? You know, question if there is a biblical connection to what I read is not important. Not important. Because number one, Bible doesn't represent physical object. Did you know that? The Bible doesn't represent physical object. for human who are made with senses to make sense of life and stuff like that. The Bible doesn't have that. And it is the reason why, you see, the AD system brought in the New World Order by these group from Europe. And they have used the Bible to spiral into world dominance. They use the Bible, kill a lot of people to accept it and stuff like that. The Bible is the biggest piece of literary trash. And somebody would a lot of people would say, no, can you say that? Because they think that certain reference in the Bible about, maybe, let's say, some people who may have existed, they think that it's, see, it's Bible, the Bible say this. No, the Bible is based on what they call revelation. And that is mad people business. Remember this now. Whenever, a lot of people don't seem to find out yet. But when you find out that the American Psychological Association has done a 5-year study on the people who believe in Spirit God, as in the Christian Bible. So if you don't know, you have a reason to dump the Bible somewhere, and you don't need it. Go and, hundreds of thousands of years of history is in Africa, Egypt, and all over the place, now scattered all over the world, and internet, give you anything you want to know. Look, dump the trash, what they call the Holy Bible. Dump that. Go and read all the good, great information that we have not been able to read because of the Bible. And they're telling us about we have faith and belief in God. Where is that God? Nowhere. A spirit God, have you found him? Have you seen him? We need to talk about Bible. Stop talking about Bible and prayer and stuff like that, because those things really do not exist. And, somebody might just find that I am indifferent when it comes to that, intolerant. But I am not intolerant in the sense that I was not once, believing in what the Bible says. Of course I did. I grew up from a child with that. But now that I read and I understand, and I read about the group of Europeans that, came out as criminals and destroyed the world, and they are the ones who's dominating and telling people what to do today. They just came to civility 600 BC. And you have black people on the ground 200,000 years long before them, and now they come and steal everything, and they are controlling. And they thought like the world never existed until they come and write a Bible, man. Anybody with intelligence is not going to appreciate that. How can you? How can you do that? So no reference and no Bible and quoting a scripture and talk about, there's the Bible like it means a lot. No, these guys are criminals who kill a lot of people who have done wonderful things on the earth to maintain civility. They kill them. You see? And set up churches, set up all kind of things like they are legit operations and stuff like that. You can read and you understand, and you don't refer to the Bible and quote the Bible like they bring in evolution and all this kind of thing. Simple because they don't want people to read and understand who they are. And when you talk about Anunnaki and Elohim, they didn't have anything to write the Bible, saving the history itself. So the Bible is full of extracts of history, real human history. But now they decide to say, no, put away the history. No, believe in God in Revelation. And all the lies that they put in there, they want you to just, your mind must be unnatural. Don't worry about that. Believe in Jesus. That's all. This is the kind of thing people need to wake up, you see, and not have other people turn your mind into wormwood. All right? So now, what is truth is no longer truth. And when you come to read these things, it's like fairy tale. It's not fairy tale. The Bible consists of, if it had logical fairy tale, it would not hurt that bad. But the Bible doesn't even have, logical fairy tale at all. It had stinking madman thinking. That's what it has. And these people would never be where they are. They could never to steal and destroy people the way they did unless people believe the madness that they are writing in the book. It would not happen. But they had to do that to steal and decide. Look how many people they kill to put themselves where they are. And today when you hear them talk on TV and all the kind of stuff, you don't see they allude to no history. They will not talk about no history whatsoever. Can't you see? And they're always, keeping guard so that, they're not busted that they fall out of the sky. They are always guarding that. You see, don't talk the truth about reality. You see, because all these people know is about the glands between their two legs and where they get the joy from. That's all. That's all they're concerned about. So we're talking about now, even though, they have extracted all the information from history that's been in the world long before they came about in Europe, they decide that, no, people must not pay attention to that. Believe in this spooky God that they write about in the Bible, Genesis 1:1. You see, Genesis 1:1, nobody has ever made sense of that. Nobody at all that I know. So all that is the basis of the Bible. And a spirit God, built up on the holy apostles and prophets and all these kind of things. And these things are warm water. It's alarming to me that more people, have not, walk out of church. I don't understand why so many people are still going to these places. All right. So we go on to say, and I'm getting around to my friend now, there is evidence. All right. So there is no, stop talking about Bible. Bible is not important. It's not about no God for you to believe in. None of that. None of that, my friend. Your life is not based upon none of what you're reading in the Bible about God. None whatsoever. Adam and Eve in the garden, and none of that. And talk about end time, whether in the Bible. Scrap all of that out of your mind, man. Take it out. You see, about end time. None of that. And about Armageddon and all this kind of nonsense. They create those kind of things and make it seem like life just began the other day 6,000 years ago. Right? No intelligent people, respect those kind of things. All right. There is evidence of an ongoing resurgence of the Planet X, also known as Nibiru. Cataclysm, conspiracy theory, following the publication of new scientific studies in 2014, claiming evidence of serious unnamed planet lurking beyond Pluto. All right. The scientific claims were based on observation of gravitational influences on a group of space bodies termed the extreme Neptune objects. Yes, that's ETNOS, orbiting. You don't believe anything these people are telling you here from NASA and all that. You have to unpick anything they tell you and intelligently put some context to what they're telling you, because these are people who don't want us to think that we came from intelligent people. They want you and I to think that we evolve out of the ground naturally, and there is no God. Only God is the one that they create in the Bible that they want people to believe in. Okay? All right. I have some things to read, but now I'm going to talk to my caller here and hear what the caller has to say. 905, how are you?
Hi, Nick. It's Nick, right? Correct?
Nick?
Yeah. Who am I speaking
You're
with?
Nick? You said
my
you're
name
Nick?
is Dennis.
Den.
My name is Dennis.
Ben. What's that?
My name is Dennis, like Dennis the Menace. Dennis the Menace. Dennis. My name is Dennis.
Okay, good, fine, nice. Welcome aboard.
All right, and who am I speaking with? Your first name, please? Sorry.
I am Tim.
I am
Tim. Yes.
You're Kim?
Tim, T-I-M.
All right, Tim.
Yeah, Tim.
Hi, pleased to meet with you.
Yes.
What you're mentioning is exactly what's occurring on the planet right now, where we're going through a human conscious shift. Mm-hmm. And again, like you were touching on it, and also within the outer dimensions, our galactic brothers per se, if you want to call it, are also going through a shift. And this is where changes and questions come in within ourselves, and glyphically, they will occur automatic. And it's how we deal with them and how we come out of it. Right? So yeah, you are so bang on and so correct. And my etheric friends, want to thank you for the work that you're doing. And it's really appreciated. And some people might feel as though that you're a little bit brash. It doesn't matter, right?
It's really not going to matter, It's not going to matter because, look, my parents were Christians, and I grew up and believed and never doubted, never questioned. Like many people had their doubts and, were not comfortable with certain things. But I was not like that. I was very, very much sheeple and continued for like about 50 years, until things were not making good sense in my head anymore, and I started to read, right? And is when I didn't know that there were information to lead me to a different type of thinking. I didn't know that. You see, I didn't know that. So my mind was really barren in that sense, and did not. I did not manage to get to any type of civilized thinking outside of what the Bible said. You see, and is by reading words, reading history, and by seeing pictures of reality outside that the Bible were not satisfying, was not supplying to my. I had a good biblical knowledge, so when I read something that is contrary or outside the pale of what the Bible is saying, it affected me because I'm saying, this is what I believe, and when I'm not getting that greater knowledge from the Bible, I had to put it down. I realized it wasn't telling me the truth. Right? So now after all of my life is being spent in all that darkness, believing in Jesus Christ, died on the cross of Calvary, only to find out now, something I could have discovered a long time and did not. For example, the Romans in 63 BC invaded, Israel, Judea, right? And and it was a military invasion.
Yes.
But they write it in the Bible like it is the will of God. Why these people were in Israel?
That's a Christian,
and then they write
like you mentioned earlier, that's a Christian description.
Exactly. No. All right. So when I believe something like that for 50 years and did not find out it was a lie I was reading. Now, as you say, people might think that I come off a certain kind of way. I'm saying, well, you know what? It has to be so because when you trap a person into that type of ignorance, that type of insanity, all of their life they have lost. What do you expect they must say?
Tim,
when you are telling me,
Tim.
Yes.
Tim, I feel your passion, okay? I'm kind of like an empath and sensitive and whatever, like people call me whatever. It's like religion is power and control, right? And that's what they do. Most lives on this planet have been lost over religious wars. Then they've lost over territory, right? It's very, very sad. Unfortunate. I don't like to use that word either. Sad. Very unfortunate. and see, the way I'm seeing things, right, Tim, is that we are coming into a conscious awakening of where we came from, of our multidimensionality. We are coming into a gathering, okay, of remembrance. Okay, I've been saying this for a long time.
Yes.
And, this is why I came back here for this moment, right, within human history, right? And yes, we can manipulate energy, and we can manipulate the outcomes of 3D physicalities. Okay, for serious, 100%, right?
Repeat that. We can that last part. We can cause the change forward.
No, we can shift. We can change scenarios. Like the energy that we hold within ourselves. We can direct it.
I hear you.
I've been doing this for fucking I don't know how long. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's just where that you're mentioning in regards to being a human.
Mm-hmm.
And it caught my attention, right? Because again, this is synchronicities about being human.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I was just mentioning this to a few people, individuals. Is like how to interact with another human.
Mm-hmm.
Like we are here to share and offer.
Yes.
Expand, grow, and learn together.
Right.
Without hate, without fear, without doubt, and trust within Source. God. Okay.
Yes.
You have many people do have no idea how much energy, how much is around them.
Mm-hmm.
Right, where you have access to.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and when you hold negative energy, you can bring that shit down on you. Fine,
mm-hmm.
that's up to you. Like the positive energy. See, this is the yin yang. Whatever, man. It's how you live your life.
Yeah,
right? It's very, very important. I had someone ask me, I don't want to come back here no more.
All right,
said, well,
but hear this now. My thing is this now. I'm not taking you off your thought, but my thing is this now. I am learning that to use the time energy to focus on the progress consciousness, the progress consciousness that we are to make. Remember, I'm drawing upon what you said about the way we live our life. Now, that statement is telling me living your life requires knowledge about who you are and the way you should think, the way you should behave, right? Now, when we are in what is called the AD Anno Domini system right now, 216 years, right? And they said that is a new world order. Now, a new world order means there is an old order, right? And the old order is where we're coming from. That's where we are coming from. So whatever, like what you're saying about we can manipulate, we can cause things to be, you are talking about the energy, the African energy that you can learn about in Egypt and stuff like that, right? Because
it's available anywhere, but if you're able to tap into Source Core, but yeah.
But what I'm saying is that, drawing into the statement that you make is that there's something that has to be said when you require a person to behave. Because if the person doesn't have a sense of how to behave, then you don't expect the positive conduct from them, can you? You cannot. Now, so think about the situation that we are in. For the AD Anno Domini, everybody today, when you ask them, how old are you? They're going to tell you that they were born, let's say, 19-something. Now, how did we come by this 19-something? It's the New World Order, because we talk about AD versus BC. The era, the time, the people of the past who give birth to us. So you're talking about now for 2,000 years, 2016 years or so now, we are under a different type of thinking. And the world, human society, has gone down into where nobody seems to understand who they are and will ever understand unless they go down into some real serious thinking, or like in my case where I just became aware, conscious that something is wrong. And I'm reading it. It's not that it is someplace. It's in the volume of a world history book that tells us about the first civilization of humankind and how other people, Chinese and other Chinese and Eucastrians and other people came into civilization, and then came the European and took over, began to kill people and take everything, and now set up what they do is steal land just about everywhere by killing black people and take away and possess everything. And today they can just walk in and kill any black leader, because they have the weapons and they do anything they want to do right now, right? This is where we are right now. How do you expect?
No, I don't disagree.
All right. So So my
What,
thing now, in what you're saying, I'm saying now that it's like we have to like concentrate on what to tell people about the jurisdiction that allows us to have the right conduct and to do those mental things that you're saying. And I'm saying that's what that history tells us about. It's not that anybody need to go about and try to fumble and wander and
right.
speculate. Who is supposed
Right.
to have jurisdiction over who? I don't have no jurisdiction over you because we are under the same knowledge of life. And
Yes.
that's my thing. That's my thing. What are we doing with all these churches? What are we doing with it? When they're not true. And the same people who give you the church is the same people them who's killing everybody out there. The history is there that tells us. Why are we fumbling like we don't know?
It's very difficult for me to witness. Okay?
All right. Well, the thing is that, you know what, we don't have to put a lot of burden on ourselves more than we can carry on or should carry.
I work in different manners.
We need to know the history that tells us. But we're not even talking about that. We're talking about what these guys have established in the New World Order. And we cannot get out of it because the realization is not enough people are realizing and not enough people realize enough. So we keep, bogged down under this, forever societal darkness, man. What about kingship?
Never forever, man.
What happened to kingship in history, sir? You know about kingship in the prehistory and historical record? Kingship,
No, I'm
you know
sure
what
I know
kingship
of it, but what I do know, I don't know of it. Okay, but what I will mention is that some of us, okay, have come here back again at this time for a purpose. Right?
What do you mean by come back again? What do you mean by come back again?
Well, we're that, this is the next life, right? We've already had a few, whatever like that. We are multidimensional beings.
You had a life before?
Oh yeah, I've had a few. Right.
You had a few lives before?
Yes, sir.
All right. When I hear stuff like that, I want to know.
You freaked out?
No,
yeah,
no,
I know.
Freak out. I want to know if it's reality, and because if it's reality, I know you're able to explain it for somebody to understand, and it's not nothing spooky, right?
Yeah,
now, if you
say
when you tell people that you have a few lives before,
mm-hmm.
right? Right away, I am going to.
No, I don't want to.
I am going to want to know, get an explanation, a plausible explanation, as to what are these time frames that you lived in, and since you can explain and tell. Can't be something you're guessing about because I'm not interested into people who have some affinity with certain type of.
No, I understand. I got that from you.
Okay. So the thing is, if you say you lived before, there's a lady who told me something like that before. She's a Pleiadian, right? That's what she says. She's a Pleiadian. And she's here on assignment and all that. Now, I wanted to find out from her the coherency of that. And she said she doesn't have to tell me. So you know what happened? That's what I call insanity. Because if you tell me your name and where you live or something like that, but if you don't know your name or where you live and you don't have to tell me, then we're not dealing with anything, because we have
I know where it came from.
literal. We have sense, like five senses: my eyes, my ears, my feelings.
You really want to hear? You really want to hear? Yeah.
Well,
it goes like this.
If you're saying it, this is the way I see it. When you say stuff like that, that's super dynamical stuff. And if you can't make it sound like it's a dream or it's a revelation, you have to put it in practical terms. Right. So tell us about your prior lives.
All right. Well, before I even came here, before I even decided to come here, I was a druid, and I was a shaman. And and I was able to pick and choose like when the time that I was going to come back down here, and I'm back here again, for another purpose, right?
All right. So
like I came,
what was
on Palladian. Yeah, sure.
What is the means by which you came? Your means of coming back to Earth?
It's a see, because we're out in the higher dimensions or whatever like that. There's really no time. Okay, so when you're looking at Earth, right, it's constructed in time, right? It's revolutions of the planet and stuff like that. And
no, don't make it get all that complex. Because we don't want no complexity. I mean, may I listen to this, and we want it is in just simple human understanding. You are on Earth right now. I mean, can you tell me what state are you in? What part on Earth are you in now?
I'm in a human vessel, experiencing this here and now.
Where? What part of the planet are you on now? Are you in the United States or Africa or somewhere?
No, I'm in Canada.
All right, you are in Canada. All right, you have an address. You're calling me a literal phone.
Yeah.
Right? All right.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you now. How did you came back? Because you say you came back here. What was of you coming back to Earth? What were the medium?
What brought me back?
No, not what. I mean, the vessel that brought you back here.
Well, the vessel?
Spaceship?
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, again. Because I come and go. And I kind of like...
No. Wait, man. Just tell me
I haven't finished. Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's again, it's timing. And
Timing? You say it's timing?
Timing.
Did you say it's timing?
Yeah, it's timing.
No, I'm not asking you about timing right now. I'm asking you about the vessel that took you here, and when was it?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question.
No, wait. Listen. You have been talking quite coherently. I understood what you say so far. You say you came from somewhere here. The conversation ought to stay coherent because you understand a literal question and what I'm asking of you. You have traveled, and I'm simply asking you what brought you back here. What is the medium?
Or what medium? What conscious energy?
Yeah. When you say energy, what form of energy? Everybody I know as a human being, everybody born of woman. That's what I know. I don't know no virgin birth or nothing like that. I know my parents have 11 of us, man. My parents had sex and I came out and I popped out and that's it, right? So you came.
It's universal. It's divine timing, man.
All right. Look. Listen to me.
Yes.
If you were born of a woman here and you were born because of a man's seed, a sperm, if you came from a sperm, is that's the way you came, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, listen. How do you come by then to say that you were someplace else and now you are here because of the general reproductive? You come through. General reproduction.
No, I understand.
What I'm asking is the coherency. The accountability that if you are able to tell me positively that you came from someplace else, I don't expect you to tell me that you were born through a man's sperm. I expect you to tell me you came in a spaceship or something like that.
Right. See, this is the whole thing. This is the big question, right?
What question?
In regards to consciousness.
No. Listen.
No, where do you get it from?
Listen. What I'm asking you is what is common to people, okay? People knowledge. There is nobody around here with a birth certificate that is going around and say they come from someplace else. Nobody. Nobody is accepted on that basis. I am old man now, and nobody go around with that. Now, if you have that story, it's not a story that I'll buy. That you came from someplace else. Now, and look here. I'm going to tell you this. I mean, we're not breaking no friendship on this. All I'm simply trying to tell you is that I don't learn to reason on that level. And if you're going to talk that argument, you can't talk it with me because I don't have that type of knowledge to reason about that. I don't take that because that is not literal to me. That I am going to transpose or accept that you were born of a man's sperm like me and everybody else, and you are stipulating that you came from someplace else. I mean, look, if you say we are all made of stardust, that's fine. But if that's not what you're telling me, then no, don't talk that with me because I cannot reason and I cannot appreciate that.
All right. Well, Tim, again, you have great energy, right? And when I mention that they come from somewhere else or whatever like that, we all do. Okay? It's just we don't remember. Okay?
We don't remember?
We don't remember.
What do you mean we don't remember? What do you mean we don't remember?
We don't remember.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, we capable. Wait. I read that the millions of years that life, have been in existence, right? And that a star exploded in an undisclosed, what do you call it there, galaxy. And a million years later, this galaxy was formed from that eruption. That's what I have read. All right, and that it is common that we are made of stardust. So the point is that, yeah, in the stardust form, and the fact that we are also hybrids, like at least I am from hybrid descent. That's why I am able to talk and exercise faculty and stuff like that. Okay, and I am a black person. Okay, so the point is, yes, I can go on accepting that we are all made of, incredible energy. Yes, but I cannot tell you that I was. Let's say, well, I came from Nibiru because now I can only say that the Elohims or the Anunnaki, who give their substance to create an hybrid, I am a part of them. But I cannot tell you consciously I was in Nibiru. No, I wouldn't. I would make that argument because it's not profitable. It doesn't make sense outside of the cosmic explanation. Right?
Tim, the way I look at it, to each their own. I'm not anyone to tell you anything.
No. All right. That's the way you look at it, and that's dangerous. That is darn dangerous because we live on a planet where life is equated to be the same. Anytime somebody take a certain type of stipulation and take certain position, there's a reason why. You see, anytime I move myself up in a different position from you, I'm doing something dangerous.
Right. I just wanted to mention that to begin with, Tim, if I can continue. Thank you.
If what? If you can what?
If I can continue. Thank you.
No. Hold on. Before you continue, I want you to think about what I say and react to it because these are the things that create problems in the world where people retain the right to say to each his own so they can go off and think when we have rules to follow, man.
Right.
If you are not a part of the rule, then we are not to be talking. Because then we cannot be under the same jurisdiction, man, Nikki.
There are a lot of rules and they're all constructs. Okay? Even universal laws are constructs. And it's how you maneuver and live within them is how you how you don't become entrapped within any one individual modality and it's so massive, right? Source core consciousness, man.
All right. All right, Nick. Look. Listen to me. Look. Me don't have time to waste. Me want to talk to people who wants to break the literal bread of understanding, where we are coming from. Do we have a history? Are you under the jurisdiction of history that control everybody? Are you under the jurisdiction of how civilization began with us and several different civilizations comes and gone? Are you covered under that? Are you under some specific secret order, that you're exempt from? What? Everybody. You go to school, everybody go to school and learn to read. Did you go to school and learn to read?
Yeah, I graduated.
All right, good. So, look, don't talk all these kind of stuff that make you sound irregular. I don't do that. I just talk what is common to everybody. Look.
Tim, again, it's been mentioned. Sorry, go ahead.
What I am saying to you is that I don't advocate for where your frequency is. And remember, not disrespecting you at all. I'm simply saying to you, differing from what you're saying about yourself. I don't want to be a part of what you're telling me about yourself, that you were someplace and you come here and when you come back here a second time. I don't want to take that on, and I don't want to, take that from your reality. But I am telling you, not in my argument, and I will not convey that to anybody as an intelligible thing, because that's not the way we talk on human intelligent level. If you have something outside here, that's fine. You can go on with that. But this is not a societal thing that you are talking. You're not talking about societal knowledge right there.
Okay, can I mention something then, please?
Mention.
All right. I didn't want to go that deep. All right. You asked, you pushed. You ask, I respond, and that's where you got.
No. I didn't ask you to tell me that you come from another place. I didn't ask you that.
Right.
I did not ask you that. No. Don't be gratuitous here. Don't feed me with nothing.
Hey, it's just that.
No. Wait. Don't do that. I am talking to simple people like me who read and understand the province of the way society is supposed to be run, right? We have a Haiti and a Damani system here that don't give a darn about it, okay? The way we are supposed to be under a pagan system. They come in with monotheism system, right? And don't care about the system that they want for us. Think about this hypocrisy. That these European, white men, they came in 600 BC and were taught by Etruscan people and the Greeks. They didn't know anything. They were poor. They didn't have anything. No sooner than they got the knowledge and stuff like that to run a little government and stuff like that, they decide to go out and kill people and thief what them have and take their land and set up government and stuff like that. The history is there to show you that. Now, so no sooner than they followed the civility of mankind from the gods and goddesses at the pantheon. All of the gods, because you can read about the Greek gods and, the Roman gods and stuff like that. They throw and reject that knowledge and use it rather to steal and to kill anybody they want. Drop bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, right? And they do it as a joke, right? And now they're controlling the world and everything. They can go in and kill anybody they want. Now, listen, brother, what I'm saying, how do they do that and sleep well and eat well and go like nothing happened? When you have people on the planet that think like that, man, look, this is what I'm trying to tell you. You don't play with thoughts and energy. You don't play with that, because when you're using words and you're representing something that is uncommon to other people and stuff like that, you are taking away from them and you're making yourself, as it were, unequal. You're making yourself a superior. When all you have between your legs is as a man is a penis, you see, and a woman vagina. That's all we have. And once the breath is gone out of you, you're nothing on this planet anymore. The point
I don't know why you're getting upset. I'd just like to ask you.
No, wait a minute, Nick. What I'm saying to you is not for somebody to be upset when criminals come into the world and learn civility and turn against it. They used to worship the gods, and they take over the world by telling people about the gods too. But then they make their own spirit god. Now, isn't that enough to make you upset? If you're not upset about that, why not?
I am about that.
When you have such an ignorance going on in the world right now around you, if you're not upset about that, why not? Tell me why you wouldn't be upset about that.
Hey, listen, I'm an empath, all right? I get it. I would like to ask you a question, right? Because because I brought it up and you're about to close out. I'd like to ask you what it is where that humans need, and before you answer this, I just a few comments. What humans need to do to exist and grow, learn, expand with each other. Doesn't matter race, doesn't matter religion, doesn't matter none of that shit, right? And it's like, what hurts me is seeing the conflict, seeing the death, right? Seeing the political crap. Right? There's going to come a time where there's going to be a one world freaking. It's not even going to be a government.
Hold your thought right there. Let me just say, take a station break and come right back to you. I want to answer to your question. You're listening to the Cosmic Philosopher. I am Tamal and talking with Nick, isn't it, Nick? And having a good conversation. All right. So, I want to thank you for tuning into the program. We're going over into 6 o'clock. If you want to come in and have a conversation, you can log in right now. We have like 60 seconds to do that. It's 347-850-1358. Okay, and back now, 905. Yes, you all right. You finish up asking me your question, and I am going to give you an answer. What it takes to make two people live?
Yeah,
for
humans,
what it takes. All right. Now, all right. Let me answer. This is my answer to what you say. We came on Earth, and we didn't know anything. We didn't have a conscious mind that identified with anything. It took a while before we know that we are someone and is accountable for anything, and we're capable of helping ourselves. Every person that I know, born an infant and did not have that development. So that's the kind of, serious position that we are in, so that when we turn adult and mature and begin to do things, we should not forget where we're coming from. All right? Now, hybrid people have to learn to read. We are not like life that just evolve. They are equipped with what they sense they're supposed to have and help themselves here, but we hybrids do not, right? We had to be tuned up to even reproduce, and because like mule, hybrid mule cannot reproduce, right? Well, we were made to reproduce, intelligent, animation, and everything like that. But look at where we are coming from, a place where we had no way of taking care of ourselves. So the fact that we are here now, to your question, what we must do, just as we go to school and learn to read, otherwise we would be idiot, fool, can't talk, can't communicate, can't do anything. So the fact that we had to learn to read, it means there is a reason why. Why aren't we? We are supposed to follow that ability to read and to follow directions. And it's the reason why I call on the jurisdiction that is supposed to guide us. We throw that away. The history that tells us about who we are and what we're supposed to do. We throw that away. And it's the reason why you have millions and millions, thousands and thousands of churches out there, like monotheism church, where we don't have monotheism churches in BC era. It's the Europeans that came in and built these monotheism, talk about one God, that they themselves never knew, and they know it doesn't exist, but they come in as criminals, and they use that to put themselves on top of the world. Right, so my answer to your question is that we must follow history, follow the right history.
All right.
I'm done. That's my answer.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Is there anything else? Because I wanted to read something now about history and what the former foundation civility was like, right? I want to read some of that now. So if you didn't want to say anything before I do that, I enjoy talking to you. You can say if you wanted to say something before I read, or else I'll just go ahead and read what I.
Yes, please do. I do not want to interrupt. Thank you for keeping me on the phone.
It's not a matter of interrupting. Is that I think conversation should be nice and pleasant and everything like that. You know what I mean? All right. But here is what I am talking about. Talking about jurisdiction. I'm reading from Glencoe World History, National Geographic, right? And it says it is taking its path from way back in time and come down to like 400 BC, okay, where we begin to form because life was going on into villages and stuff like that, few people, and reproduction, people develop, reproduce for quite a few years, and initiation took place for a few thousands of years. And then we have the first civilization. So it comes down to like 3,000 to 1200 BC, and it says the Neolithic age was drawing to a close, but it had set the stage for major changes to come, right? So the development of humanity, many people. At first, Neolithic settlements had been hardly more than villages, right? Few people, right? So that as far back as right down to 1200 BC. That's just before the Romans go criminal and take over the world with AD Anno Domini, man, right? So you see, up to that time, there were not a lot of people on Earth yet. So, all right. So it goes on now, and it begins to tell you the first people who make it into the civilized class and our civilization class, our classification. By the beginning of the Bronze Age, large numbers of people were concentrated in the river valley, of the Mesopotamia. Yes, Egypt, India, and China. You don't hear nothing about no Europe. Nothing about no Europe, right? These were the first people who begin to to do cultivation, agriculture, right? And feed people and then begin to create more people. All right. This would lead to a whole new pattern of human life. All right. So it comes now to the emergence of civilization, right? And it tells you the classification of a civilization. This was the first one. In general terms, the culture of a people is the way of life that they follow, right? So a culture follow a certain way. So when you had the first civilization coming out of a few villages, see, the way that they follow is what created civilization. They are taught certain things. They are taught certain... Huh?
Society.
Yes, but the key is they follow a pattern.
That's correct.
You see? All right. So can we throw the pattern away? Right? A man don't throw away his penis, a woman don't throw her vagina. We are made up, male and female, and this is the way we develop. Like you asked me, how do we do it? And this is the formula here. As we have seen, early human beings formed small groups that developed a simple culture that enabled them to survive. See? When we grow that out, that's when the world become a place of animals. As human society grew, listen, and become more complex, a new form of human existence. This is the problem, called civilization. You see, and all the problem came into being. A civilization is a complex culture in which large numbers of human beings share a number of common elements. See that? That's what most older civilization together. You're complex, but you're not indifferent. You're not, killing each other or nothing like that. Historians have identified the basic characteristics of civilizations. 6 of the most important characteristics are cities, government, religion, societal structure, writing, and art. Right? Now, it goes on to the rise of cities, the growth of government. All of these things are what our ancestors built before our time. All right? Can we grow them out? No. They would have to go on some other planet and start life someplace else, but not the human life on Earth. This is the way it started. This is the way it's going to go forever. Right? Now, so it goes on to tell you that the growth of government, growing numbers of people, the need to maintain the food supply, and the need to build walls for defense soon led to growth of governments. Governments organize and regulate people, human activity. They also provide for smooth interaction between individuals and groups. In the first civilizations, governments were led by rulers, usually monarchs, kings, and queens, who rule a kingdom, who organize armies to protect their populations, not to go out and kill people and steal what they have, right? And made laws to regulate their subjects' lives. See? Not to regulate over people overseas life and talk about foreign policy and tell this one they must get out or else they're going to bomb them back into the dark caves. All right, good. Now, when it comes to religion, you're going to find out that religion back then did not mean what we think it is today or what we use it as. It was a university. It was a university. That's what religion was, because it teaches people. Important religions develop, important religious developments also characterized the new urban civilizations. So the teaching style that teaches people how to live, this is what was established in the emergence of the first civilization, coming right on, rise of city, the growth of government, right? All right. So it's not religion, you go and worship this and that and stuff like that. All right, here is what it explains. Exactly. It says, all of them, which mean the urban civilizations, all of them developed religions to do what? Explain. It's not to get no worship to nobody. It's to explain the workings.
That's the core of it. That's the core.
Yes, it's to teach people. It is to explain the workings of the forces of nature and the fact of their own existence. Now, are we talking about our existence? Is anybody talking about the way we exist? No. The explanation of the original formation of human society has an explanation. That's the main object or purpose of the arrangement, is to explain to us something we don't know. You see, is how we exist, and we are hibernation. We are hybrids, and they don't.
Okay, I have a question for you, Tim. Who are the ones that are explaining this to how to be a human?
Say what?
Who are the ones that are explaining to us on how to be a human?
Who is explaining?
Yes.
Well, at this, I am reading that it says the arrangement of civilization or societies and stuff like that it's comprised of. It says all of them is supposed to develop religions to explain the workings of the forces of nature.
Who is writing this? Who is writing this?
I am reading from a world history book that is telling about the way human society came about.
All right.
Do you understand
and who is the author?
This is National Geographic World History.
All right. Who's the writer?
No, I can
What's
only
your
tell you.
legacy?
Listen.
I'm listening.
This is
I'm very intently.
Listen, this book is a world history book. It's not a little privatized book. This is a world history book with chronology of the civilization of the world, okay? And it begins from, let's say, 35, where I take it's based from. It's not from the extreme beginning of human, embryonic stage. It starts down the road, right? And it gives us from 3500 BC.
Right, understood.
All right, no. All right, what the point I wanted to make to you is that it has as certifiers, consultant, and reviewers is really
No, I haven't heard of this paper, but go ahead.
You mean National Geographic?
Not this particular paper.
Okay, well, if you go online and you type in National Geographic, it will take you to this volume, and I think you can see they have programs on television.
No, you're doing very well, and I appreciate you sharing with me. Thank you.
All right. Okay, so this book carries consultants and reviewers, academic consultants, and there are many PhD, about a dozen PhD, and others teachers review about another dozen that certifies. Not like Bibles, Quran, and stuff like that you don't have no academic scholarship certification to prove that what they are saying is anything true, which means it's all spiritual nonsense. Those things are right. This is not religion. This is literal work done.
I understand.
For people to understand about life. And this is not for one person, one set of people. This is for every human being in civilization, right? So cool. So get back now to the explanation of this as to exclusively who have been on Earth that caused us to be here. And this is telling us. It tells us what the urban civilizations were characterized by, and that is the religion. With a teaching university. All of them were equipped with it. He says all of them developed religions, which mean the diverse form under the religion, which we'll learn later is called paganism, the gods and goddesses, right? It's not no spirit and no revelation.
I know it well. I know it well.
Okay, all right, good. All right, so it goes on to say that, all right, they are, it is, the only design was to explain the workings of the forces of nature and the fact of their own existence. Gods and goddesses were often believed to be crucial to a community's success. To win their favor, priests supervised rituals aimed at pleasing them. This gave the priest special power and made them very important people. Rulers also claimed that their power was based on divine approval, and some rulers claimed to be divine. All right, and it goes on to tell you more about new social structure, the use of writing, artistic activity, and goes on to tell you more about Western Asia and tell you about the cradle of the human race. Civilization begins in Mesopotamia, right? And it goes on to tell you about Sumerian cities, gods and goddesses, and rulers. It goes on to explain the chain, economy, and society until you come on to the codes of Hammurabi, empires and ancient empires in ancient Mesopotamia, and it goes on along.
What book are you reading from?
What is that?
What book are you reading from?
I told you already.
I know.
You forget?
But I got to imprint it in my brain.
Okay. It's the World History of National Geographic.
World of History, National Geographic. All right, got it. All right.
Yes. All right. Now, I read that to set, as it were, a preface to what I wanted to read because I have a book here that is that starts out by saying, staggering new evidence of an astonishing. I think I missed some of it there. I think it's knowledge flourish in mankind's distant past. This is written by a man named Zachariah Sitchin. Genesis Revisited is the title of this little book. And is modern science catching up with ancient knowledge? So, this is very important when we have the European who decide to purport that mankind did not originate the way history tells us. And they just come here and they're going to tell us it's by revelation. They've given us a different version of human civilization and human origin that they claim is by revelation, by some God that they're bringing out. And that's what the Bible, and the reason why people must throw the Bible out, because it's by madness that the American Psychological Association 5-year research proves that anytime you believe into what the European is writing in the Bible as revelation, you're mentally ill. Clear cut. You're mentally ill. But since they come to dominate the world, they dictate what people must accept, must believe. So idiots will always go believe that, and they will always try to kill people who don't want to accept. It's just so sinister. It's like
I agree with you, man.
All right, now for people who really want to, because nobody cannot stop you as long as you're here. Can't stop you from suck knowledge. You see, nobody can make you believe something that you don't want to believe in. Okay, now
of course.
No. Nobody should believe something that they don't have, personal knowledge of, because you only have one life to live.
Hell, I'm here to share an offer. That's all I'm here for.
All right. Now, what's this now? I believe in being exclusively decisive on what a person ought to consider without option. You know what I mean? Because anytime you have someone who want to, like you were telling me your story about your existence and stuff like that. And I just said respectfully, that I cannot reason with that because I haven't learned anything to appreciate that and to know that, right? So it's up to you to, to have that as your own value, right? Now, I don't tell you that you're wrong, do I? I do not, right? I don't tell you, right? But we have to stick with the purview based on our knowledge.
Yeah, I understand.
All right. Now, so let's come down to what I have read about the difference between what we are told in, say, monotheism Christianity and what is written in prehistory by these scholars.
This should be good.
All right. He says here, this is a chapter that deals with when wisdom was lowered from heaven. So this has to do with, if you've ever read astronomer, what's his name? David Rees. Have you ever heard about David Rees?
I've heard of that name. I've heard of that name.
Okay. David Rees is a British astronomer, right? And he says here, after talking about a number of things that they deal with pertaining to planetary existence, he says, the universe is part of every one of us and many levels, from the mere physical fact that our bodies are composed of stardust to our ultimate heritage, the use of our intellect to conquer space. Given time, mankind would spread over our galaxy and make the Milky Way his home, just as our ancestors left their own lands to take over this planet on which we live. Right? Now, a lot of people don't know that intelligent astronomers say those things. Okay? All right. Now, let's get over now to what I was going to read about details
Yep.
Details. Details
Sorry,
of
go ahead.
The Sumerian king list, a record of rulers, cities, and events arranged chronologically. Divide prehistory and history into two distinct parts. First, the long record of what had happened before the deluge. Then,
The deluge?
D-E-L-U-G-E.
Yeah, what is that? What event was that?
The flood. The flood.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a story from the Bible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then what transpired after the deluge? So you have the pre-deluge existence and you have the after-deluge, okay? Prehistory and history. One was the time when the Anunnaki gods and then their sons by the daughters of Man, the so-called demigods, ruled upon the earth. And
I got
other...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yes.
Go ahead. I want to ask you a few questions in regards to Anunnaki.
Okay. The other was when human rulers, kings, selected by Enlil, were interposed between the gods and the people. Yeah, you wanted to ask a question there?
No, so go ahead.
You want me to go on? All right.
Yes, please.
In both, continue?
Please go ahead.
All right. In both instances, the institution of an organized society and orderly government, kingship, was stated to have been lowered from heaven. The emulation on earth of the societal and governmental institution on Nibiru. When kingship was lowered from heaven, begins the Sumerian king list. Kingship was in Eridu.
There you go.
In Eridu, Alalulim came king and ruled 28,800 years. After listing the other antediluvial rulers and cities, the next states, the text states that then the flood swept over the earth. And it continues, after the flood had swept over the earth, when kingship was lowered again from heaven, kingship was in Kish. From then on, the list takes us into historical times. Although the subject of this volume is what we call science, and the ancient called wisdom, a few words about kingship. The good order of things, an organized society and institutions will not be out of place, because without them, no scientific progress or the dissemination of preservation of wisdom could be possible. Kingship was the portfolio of Enlil,
I got it.
the chief administrator of the Anunnaki on Earth. It is noteworthy that, as in so many scientific fields, where we still live off and build upon the Sumerian bequest, so does the institution of kings and kingship still exist, having served mankind for so many millennia. So it goes on to tell you about this author called Samuel Noah Kramer in History Begins at Summer listed scores of first. I mean, what do you call it? I mean, brackets. First begun there. So he lists a lot of first things that were created into that system that we still use today. Including, listen to this, a bicameral, that's bicameral, bicameral chamber of elected or selected deputies. Various aspects of an organized and orderly society were incorporated into the concept of kingship. First and foremost among them, the need for justice. You know, my brother? A king was required to be righteous and to promulgate and uphold the laws. For Sumerian society was one that lived by the law. Many have learned in school of the Babylonian king. What? Many have learned in school of the Babylonian king Hammurabi and his famous law code dating back to the 2nd millennium BC. But at least 2,000 years before him, Sumerian kings had already promulgated codes of law. The difference was that Hammurabi was a code of crime and punishment. If you do this, your punishment will be that. Yeah. Sumerian law codes, on the other hand, were codes of just behavior. They stated that you should not take away the widow's donkey or delay the wages of a day labor. The Bible's 10 Commandments were like the Sumerian codes, not a list of punishment, but a code of what is right to be done and what is wrong and should not be done.
It's universal law. I don't care where you come from. You know, Anunnaki, Sumerian, whatever like that. It's universal law.
Yes. But, you know, I mean, for the purpose of location, you know, and where these things happen, you know, you get the report, right? But like you say, that's what it's telling us about. These guys came from out of the universe and brought knowledge here. And that's important for people to understand.
Thank you. Humans need to know this.
Yeah. All right. Now, it goes on to tell a little more. We have about 22 minutes to go. All right. Because I got here before, you know, but it's like, it's very difficult to pick up in midstream on this. So let's see if I can overrun a little where I got the last time. Now, it says, the laws were, I really appreciate you hanging out with me here. Right? You know,
thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. I feel good about this. All right, so it goes on to continue to say, the laws were upheld by a judicial administration. It is from Summer that we have inherited the concept of judges, juries, witnesses, and contracts. The unit of society we call the family, based on a contractual marriage, was instituted in Summer. So were rules and customs of succession, of adoption, of the rights of widows. The rule of law was also applied to economic activities, exchanged based on contracts, rules for employment, wages, and how else taxation. We know we know much of Summers' foreign trade, for example, because there had been a custom station at a city called Drehem, Drehem, where meticulous records were kept of all commercial movements of goods and animals. All that and more came under the umbrella of kingship. As the sons and grandson, As the sons and grandchildren of Enlil entered the stage of relations between man and his gods, the functions of kingship and the supervision of kings were gradually handed over to them, and Enlil, as the all-beneficent, became a cherished memory. Because he retired. He retired. Right?
No. What book are you reading from?
Oh, this Genesis Revisited. Zachariah section. Yeah, Genesis Revisited. Now, it goes through the whole explanation of why the Europeans are wrong in what they write in Genesis about God make heaven and earth in 6 days. It's all, Huh?
Fuck them. I don't care.
Well, but I would say not
Genesis,
to care.
Revelation. Right.
Huh?
No, I got it.
No, the corruption. Corruption is the thing that is bothering our human world.
No, it's all crap. I am so disappointed and so upset.
But
okay?
I mean, who have you heard really take these things up and try to talk to them, and not to disrespect anybody? But you can't have criminals really corrupting the world and disadvantaging other people, killing people with bombs and stuff like that.
No.
Nobody's supposed to sit down and take those things.
No. You know how much that hurts me?
Okay.
And with the friends, their friends, they see and look down on this planet. And again, I don't want to get too woo-woo, but I'm a little bit quite connected to the energy of the universe, and what's going on down here. I'm not liking it.
All right, but can't you just say something of emphasis that before the AD Anadamani came in with New World Order on all immoral and illegal, conduct, commercial and enterprise and economic and everything was all brought under this illegal and immoral conduct. Can you kick it with your big boot?
I am working on it. I am working on it. Yes. I don't know if I stopped you from saying what you were saying. I was going to go on. No, you're good. No, I came here for a reason.
Okay. Now, so
you're good people.
He says here.
No, you're good.
He says here. He says all that. Okay, I read on here. All right, but to this day, what we call a civilized society still owes its foundations to the time when kingship, was lowered from heaven. I think I'm gonna stop at the same place and hope that
No, you're
I will
good.
continue.
No, it's reoccurring.
I am not all that well. I am putting out a lot of energy more than I really have, but I really have the interest to really talk about these things because when people hear and it's up to them to digest it, it's for them.
Again, the name is Kim. No.
Ken? Oh yes, Ken. And I am Tim. T-I-M.
Right. This is a gathering, and we're coming into an awakening. And as we come into this gathering, as we come within the collective, right? Not all at the same time, but individually, we are coming together, and again, the gathering, and the energy that was sent out to the universe is certainly recognized, and it comes straight back.
Okay.
So yeah, we
I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't have to tell you nothing.
I love that. Because because there's nothing that is going to help us but that.
Yeah.
You follow what I say?
I hear what you're saying.
No. What I said is I want to make sure that you hear because I am affirming what you say, and I say based on the way things are right now on the ground, we don't really have anything to help us but what you said. If we don't get help from the energy that we are now subscribing to, if we don't get help from that, we are not going to get any help from these from any place else because these guys have too much weapons to kill everybody with.
Yeah. See, this is the whole thing. And I really enjoy our conversation right now, and that you've held me on the call for so long. Thank you very much for that.
That's nice. You blessed me too.
It's humans. They're going through their path. They're going through their realizations. They're going through their awareness or whatnot, their awakenings, whatever you want to call it. I hate labels. And they're ones like you, okay, which I refer to as forerunners, okay? And you see before others do the energy, that is coming up upon them, right?
Yes.
And me and my friends, whatever like that. Again, I don't want to get too deep. We appreciate that you're being here for them, for us. No,
have you read these peculiar writing in the Bible? It's not my usual thing to quote from the Bible, but where I see things, I don't disregard that information. And there's 3 places in the I want to point out to you, because this is very, 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 very different from the other things in the Bible. It doesn't coincide with other things in the Bible. Now, why they're there, I don't know. But Revelation 18, I don't know if you've ever read that, right?
No,
Revelation
I don't
18,
read the Bible. But go ahead, please.
You don't read the Bible. All right, but here's the thing about it. Even if you don't read the Bible, if you at some point feel like, try reading those targeted places. Revelation 18, because it's not supportive to them, and it's like they are not all that cognizant. They're kind of juvenile, they're wicked and stuff like that, and they're full of knowledge in technology and stuff like that, but they don't have certain critical knowledge and reason, okay? Now, that is totally against them. And Isaiah 28 and 29, if you read that, it gives a little history of them as well and tell you the consumption that is going to come on them. And I find it, I used to read those things long ago and didn't really make anything of it, but lately, put it into context, and what you have just said about what is coming upon them. They are going down in the drain because they are built up on sand, lies, evil. That's their foundation. And not one of them can stand up to you for 5 minutes and substantiate the establishment that they have set up all over the world, the network and stuff like that. And as much as they control people's lives at this level, they are standing on trash. Nonsense.
I know.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yes, and they have to be ducking. That's what all of these networks that they have. They are using these things to cover themselves. And people might think like it is a legit government. These are criminals behind it, and they use like the FBI, the Secret Service. These are watchdogs to keep them in business.
Kim, I see it every day.
I mean, they can go out there and kill people with the police and stuff like that, and make it seem like it's the law.
See, the funny thing is, okay. The funny thing is, the ironic thing is that they're playing their game, right? Doing their political thing and power and control, ego shit, whatever like that, right? Whatever.
Yes.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Right? Because the universe knows exactly what you're doing.
But look here. If you do get a chance, look at, as a matter of fact, look here. You may have a little tangent. Let me just spin a couple of the preface of this here.
No, I have no time for that. Hey, listen, I know what's going on down there. Right?
Look. Yes.
Go ahead.
Look here. Yes, I know you. I'm not gonna ask you to go through that. Might as well.
Are you on Facebook? Do you do Facebook?
Yeah, man, I'm on Facebook, man. I'm on there. Tim Aldred. Tim Aldred on Facebook. Tim Aldred on Facebook. Right. You can find me there.
All right. So let me find you right frick now. Okay.
Yeah, man. Tell me.
No, I'm doing it right now. Just no.
All right. That's nice. All right. Now watch this. Because
you're good, guys. They love you.
Yeah. Look here. Listen to this. If you never read it before, it's going to really tickle your ears. Okay. Woe unto the crown of pride, to the drunkards of Ephraim, to the drunkards of Ephraim, whose glorious beauty is a fading flower, which are on the head of the fat valleys, of them that are overcome with wine. Behold the Lord.
Yeah, go ahead, please. Sorry.
Behold, the Lord hath a mighty and strong one, which as a tempest of hail and a destroying storm, as a flood of mighty waters, overflowing, shall cast down to the earth with the hand. The crown of pride and the drunkards of Ephraim shall be trodden on the feet, and the glorious beauty which is on the head of the fat valley shall be a fading flower, and has the hasty fruit before the summer, which when he that looketh upon it seeth, while it is yet in his hand, he eateth it up. In that day shall the Lord of hosts be for a crown of glory and a diadem of beauty unto the residue of his people, and for a spirit of judgment to him that sitteth in judgment, and for strength to them that turn the battle to the gate. But they also have heard, there's people who follow them, right? So it goes on to say, but they also have heard through wine and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophets have heard through strong drink, swallowed up of wine, they are out of the way through strong drink. They heard in vision and stumble in judgment. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness. so that there is no place clean. Whom
That's so easy, man.
shall you teach knowledge? And whom shall he make to understand doctrine? Them that are weaned from the milk and drawn from the breast. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little. For with stammering lips and other tongue shall he speak to his people. To whom he said, this is the rest wherewith ye may cause the weary to rest. And this is the refreshing. Yet they would not hear. But the word of the Lord was unto them precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, and here a little, there a little, that they might go and fall backward and be broken and snared and taken. It has more stuff, intriguing stuff that those.
No, but it's so true, man. It's for real.
Yeah. Well, look, we have like about 4 minutes, and I want to just, tell you that I really, really enjoy the conversation. It's much, much better than, I probably might have felt at some point. But, it's always good to have the right composure, have respect, love, a person, listen, and, we try to get along. And this turned out to be so wonderful. So wonderful.
Yes, we're here for each other, right?
Yeah.
To go stand together, right?
I don't like indifference. It's just that, I have like certain type of like some while back, probably you and I would not be talking right now because there are certain things I come down critical on and just, cut it out. But I have a lot more now. I'm maturing a lot and stuff like that. I'm not perfect. But,
we all learn together.
But you see, I like when I can have agreement with someone. You know what I mean?
Yes,
because,
we're
here
for each other.
I feel comfortable. People who are incoherent, they are not open to recognition of situation from words spoken. Very difficult. People with a brain disorder, they do not have the blessing of knowledge because they are not able to understand things and to assimilate themselves around that understanding. It's not. I think we, to a degree, know exactly what I am talking about. I think I've experienced a situation where you are talking to someone and saying something that you think is important for them to understand, but they are not conscious of what you're saying. You're not getting through. Things are not happening for you. When you're talking to someone, you hope to perceive what you're saying, and yet still, they do not understand you. What do you do in that case? And what really happened there? What happened there is really, you get nothing happen for you when people are not understanding. The confusion is so pressing. It's depressing. If you have children, I'm very sure you don't want to have any children that is going to have a brain disorder. You cannot influence their understanding of things and their development. You can't connect with them. You don't want to have a child like that, do you? Well, the world full of people like that, brain damage. And it's not because they were born with their brain really damaged. Their brain gets damaged because parents The parents do it. Parents damage their brain. And I'm not saying it's an intentional thing. Unintentional. Think about what I'm saying. Unintentional. Awareness of danger in situation is very important. Very, very important. All right, so this is what I am about here. I am not trying to create unfruitful situation. I want to talk to people who understand what I'm saying and emphasize the importance of when we understand what's being said, the advantage that there is. People who do not understand, to whatever degree they are not understanding, they are deprived. All right? Now, what happens when we understand things? We either accept that it is good or not good. So we have complex things to figure out when we are listening to each other. So if you take that piece of understanding that I am expressing, then right away you will find yourself obligated to things that you have heard and where you should respond positively because you are a part of the human ongoing life or posterity and should be able to carry on intelligence in the mind of others and your children. So, the way things are going, we can see that there are too many people unresponsive to things, process, situation that exists in society. People are not understanding. For example, life exists for a number of hundreds of thousands of years. And since the beginning of life is not is not from us, it is from the people who lived long ago. So we are here with responsibility to know the history of where we are coming from and, follow the pattern, model the proto. That's what we're supposed to do, right? So when we have folks who messes up things in the world and destroy the pattern of knowledge and destroy the understanding that we are to have and hold and exercise, how do we make out with that? How do we correct things like that? How do we know when these things happened and somebody must repair the damage? How do we know that? It's a multiple problem, because, you see, once you believe you have accepted something, believe something that is not true, and it becomes a part of your thinking and a part of your action, your behavior, right there, you see, is either that you are doing positively well or negatively bad. When you're a victim of some idea that is not positive, and you're acting on it like it is. The brain must not be corrupted, because when it does, when it gets confused, the world that's supposed to be, or the world that is of long ago, will no longer exist in your life, because people increase in number just about every day. And there was a time when human population was not as many as it is now. Think about that. All right. If you read history, you'll find out that there were times when the world society was unified with one common concept of social understanding, or it have a cultural norm. Yeah. What happened? What happened? You know, it's not a matter of getting diverse or, relevant diversity. It's all right. I mean, it's like a mango tree or orange or fruit tree. Bears a lot. You're happy when your fruit bear. Your fruit tree bears a lot, and you can get much fruit. So that's not a problem. Many of similar things are things that are relevant in existence. They have a word that's called congenial. You have a sense of togetherness, harmony. That's nice. So that's not all we're talking about. I mean, you don't have to wear the same color clothes like other people. Nobody don't start you from, or style clothes. But when somebody bring in the style and form of something that is not compatible with good living, that's the problem. So whenever people stray into what we call then negative ways, since our brain is open to assume all kind of ways, different patterns. So it is important for us to know the right way, the pattern to follow. So what happens when you take on a way of thinking that is not in harmony with the solitary, the right attitude, the right principle. You've gone away from the right principle that you can use in diverse ways. That's where we drift away, we drift apart, and develop all kinds of different attitude, whereas it becomes okay to do serious damage to the other side, starve them, do all kind of stuff to them, and it's okay because we have built up anomaly and become hostile and uncaring, unloving of others. We drift away from the central knowledge that we are all the same life form. And whenever we begin to act up against each other in these negative ways, we are done with the creation. That's the problem. That is the problem. Human life started out with a certain set of people. That's what the history shows. And in that case, it means that the pattern and the mold of life must be held together because we don't start in a different way except that way. If somebody's going to try to invent the wheel of human life, then that's where we start hell on earth. So one set of people start, and from that set of people, you have other forms of life begin to hatch. And then it doesn't matter what color we have. What counts is our sense, our behavior, our understanding to do diverse things, but we are not hostile or negative toward each other and create pain and suffering. We don't do that. That's not the way life is supposed to go. We start hating each other and doing things that clearly don't foster the positive of life. When we hear and we don't understand, when we now drift off into ways where we hurt each other and laugh, then, life is really over in a certain context. When we start treating like hearing and understanding is not important, and when hearing and understanding no longer support the healthy way of life, life is over with. Look at what is going on out there. People killing people. One understanding, one teaching began with the people, the little group that started out human life. We didn't start out diverse all over the place. That's not what the issue shows. And it doesn't make any sense to think so. It's not intelligent to think so. But with the fool, and when someone tell, well, all right, you don't need to be cautious about anything, then what happened? Drive on the street like that and don't be cautious how you drive, and what is going to happen? Will you return safely? The answer is no. Just no. All right. This is just a little background to what I'm saying, so that to invoke some attention to life. It is clear that it is not going the way that we're supposed to. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the kind of calamity that is going on. People are killing other people, and they feel like they are mighty and great when they do that. We are in a sick state, and we are so sick that we don't realize that we are sick, crazy, nasty, and we do not care. Something went wrong somewhere, and we don't have enough mental health to recognize what is happening to us. Because whilst people are dying, suffering and dying around us, we don't care. You don't find out. Pretty soon, you're going to be in bad shape too, because you need other people's life to support yours. And when you don't think so, idiot, you're a fool. And this is what is going on in the world. We started out with the meaning of something, and then down the road, some idiot come along and change it. The matrix no longer serve everybody. And this is what we have here today. Everybody's trying to build up a kingdom of their own. They have lost sense of themselves, and they would like to kill the last person. Leave themselves. This is very, very terrible, my friends. Very terrible. The gift that we get, the senses that we get, when we don't think that these senses are important. You don't think to hear and to see is that important. You think it was given to you for something else. Just to have sex and to enjoy that gratification that is put inside of you to procreate. That's all we boil down to. We lose sense of the essence of life, and here we are. Gosh, who's crying out? Who's trying to fix anything? Nobody. and we could be wiped out in one night, and we wouldn't realize that we caused it. Because we are concerned about, your vagina and your penis. That's it. Your clothes, your car, and your whatnot. It's just a barbaric type of thinking that we are enjoying, man. It's a bad thing. We don't think words are important because they determine the quality of life or whether or not we're going to get spoiled or not if we don't speak right. No. And people are full up of their skin and their clothes. Taking a trip somewhere. Look at what people are interested in. Look on TV. What's them? It's like we are strangers to life. Doesn't make any sense. Anyway, there are people who listen and make good for themselves. And that is so nice that some people can see and they are making use of knowledge. Others don't care about knowledge. They care about believing whatever is the agenda of politics of the day and the religions that politics create. So, all right, for those who are able to make use of knowledge and have the life they want and do everything to protect yourself from those who are dangerous, I speak and I say the world that people are not paying attention to is the one to protect us. And when we decide only on the basis of error that people have created, and we become a part of a group or, and alliances, it's like the institution in societies, trade unions and different forms of foundations and stuff like that created to control people's thinking, way of life. People are lost because of these type of institutions that people set up. And therefore, it's hard to bring things back because people have built systems to destroy the foundational system. And, you outgrow that, but you don't realize something, you're building danger over your head. And pretty soon, in a matter of time, it's going to destroy you. So, fact is that, death is the final end for people who do wickedly and think nonsense